Hey, what is up? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Undead Gaming Cast for the month of November. I'm Rob the Undead Gamer, and this is our monthly podcast where we talk about video games, the industry, and the like. Joining us on today's cast is who has become a bit of a staple of the podcast, like an old chair in the corner of the room that you don't have the heart to get rid of. Smells a little bit, but still the corner would not look the same without him. Mr. Josh Whitehurst from Singularity Games. Hello.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at
Fantastic.
all. And again, another fixture to the wall. Mr. Ashton Vautier.
Hello, I'm so glad you didn't say my name after the last introduction. I was hoping please don't be me. Yeah, hello.
I don't want to be the smelly chair. I'd rather
No,
be
you're
the
just a
scum you
fixture.
can't get off the wall.
just the picture.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, no good. It's not like we've seen each other at all today. Anyway, and joining us, special guest, Mr. Naz Dragonheart from the awesome channel Talkplay. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very well, thanks for that introduction. Bit of a dicky tummy beforehand, but it's all settled now.
Well, if we'd have known,
If we'd have known.
we'd have cast him
We'd
away.
have known.
But no, it's fine. Awesome, welcome, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing well,
Cool,
well. How's
cool.
yourself?
Right, okay, so if you don't know, this is a monthly podcast in which we talk about video games and the like, as I've said, which you can find us on YouTube. And apologies that we still can't be getting this on iTunes, but me and Josh think we're going to get together and sort it out, because we'd rather it be much more accessible to just go about your daily business and plug in to iTunes podcasts and listen as you go about your daily business. And also, a huge apology for last month for not having one. Too much stuff going on at the moment, which is terrible. So there was just no room, and then we couldn't get together with people and to do it, and it was just going to be me and Josh, which would have been fine, but we decided against it in the end.
He hates me.
Damn chair.
Damn shit.
I've fallen off you for the last time.
So if you're new to the podcast, here's the format. First of all, we talk about what we've been playing, what we've been up to this month, or this past 2 months, maybe. Let's make up for a little bit. And then we get into the discussion of the main news topic. And then we round things off with next month's releases, the releases of December. The festive season awaits. So, without further ado, let's start with Ashton. What have you been playing this month or so? What have you been up to in the world of video games?
I've played a fair few games. Been playing a lot of Diablo 3. Absolutely love that game. I've
On
played...
console or?
Oh, that was PS3, that one. And we recently got an Xbox One, so the games that came with it were Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which
Of course.
actually isn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be just the standard COD, but it was surprising.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard
Yeah.
it's not bad for a COD, actually.
Yeah, I did enjoy it, but I'm still not quite sure. Yeah, and been playing a bit of Forza, bit of everything. Yeah, it's been good. Bit of Goat Simulator. So yeah, fun.
More Goat
The
Simulator.
The usual.
The
It's so
replayability.
funny, that game. Yeah. So yeah, just a general overview of everything. But yeah, it's been a...
Cool. What have you been playing on Diablo? Just out of a matter of interest, because obviously myself and Josh, which we'll probably get into, we played it. Was it earlier this month?
I tried out the Crusader for the first. I like him. But I also, because when I first played it, I played the Witch Hunter and the Barbarian. But this time around, I tried the Crusader and the Wizard, and yeah, I much prefer. I don't know. Wizard, I love when you're playing with other people, but Crusader, you can literally just go in and bash everyone's skulls because it's so OP. You can just kill everything in a mile vicinity with one strike. So I do I love Diablo. It's
Yeah, no, it is a fun
We
game.
had a lot of fun with that
It
on the
is
stream,
such
didn't
fun.
we?
Yeah, especially with if you're playing like couch co-op, which I think is one great thing that Blizzard did with that port to console was the couch co-op.
Yeah, that's probably my
I
favorite
think-
thing. It's my only
Yeah.
In fact, it's my only 4-player game that I've got, apart from like the CODs, and COD is really boring 4-player co-op. So it's so nice to just get a load of people around and play it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an adventure. It's good. I mean, they're you know me. I'm into my RPGs like quite heavily in my sort of fantasy and everything, and to have a game that obviously usually RPGs are quite single player on your own. You don't really get much of an opportunity to play with people generally. But I think Diablo is one of those great examples of a multiplayer couch co-op RPG. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just can't get sick of it. I love it so much.
Awesome. Okay, is that all, Ashton?
Seems to be. I'm probably forgetting something, but
Any more Destiny at all?
Oh no, we traded that in.
Oh, there'll be words later. There will be words.
Yeah, I after the first like few weeks of when it first came out, I just didn't play it again and was like, I'm probably never
the
gonna
hype. The hype was gone.
It was just gone, yeah, and so traded it in. Pretty sure we used some of the points to get the new Xbox. So yeah, that's gone now.
So we can in fact confirm that hype is a bad thing.
Yeah, we can confirm that the last podcast was right.
It's nice to forget summary occasionally. That's good.
True stuff.
Bearing in mind, Ashton was the only one of us at the time on the podcast that had played Destiny.
That's a bad sign already. If you're the only person playing Destiny, you're not playing Destiny right. You need to bully everybody you know into playing it.
Yeah.
My God, Destiny's like the best game ever. What are you doing?
Good.
God, total noob.
If you don't play it with me, you're just not my friend anymore.
There was a big group of us before playing it, all playing together, and it was good fun, but it's just the same thing over and over, and the fact that you have to travel for so long just doing nothing, and then to get to the one point that you need to be I don't know, it's just tedious.
I think Destiny, as we said in the last podcast, got a lot of potential, definitely, and we'll probably see that potential come over the years.
Yeah, but it will literally be years.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same, but it's the same thing because it's got that pseudo MMO sort of style and genre. It's the same thing. It's one of the things that drew me off World of Warcraft, which is this month anyway has been the month of World of Warcraft with Draenor coming out and everything. But it's one of the things that drew me off it in the end. Is just end game. It's just if you're not in a guild that raids all the time, or if you're not into PvP. There's nothing for you.
Yeah.
Almost. That's what it felt like. So same old, essentially.
Yeah, same stuff. Gets a bit boring.
Cool.
SSDD.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So yeah. Josh, what have you been playing? What have you been up to this month?
Well, every single time. I'm not even going to say it anymore. But
Magic.
Bingo. So yeah, no more needs to be said. I'm trying to sort my computer out. Which is one of the reasons that the videos have sort of stopped on my channel. There's not been any streams or anything just because I'm having some issues with the software and I don't have a capture card or anything and trying to sort myself out. But I recently rebought Jaws the Planeswalkers for Steam because I had it on the Xbox before. So I've been playing that the last couple of days, just clocking up about 5 or 6 hours on it. I've only had it for about 2 days. I've been really enjoying my State of Decay. Any of you guys played that? That's really good.
Yeah, I've heard
Not played it,
things.
know of it though.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's like a resource management, survival horror, action, open world game. It's almost like it's what would be classed as like an Xbox arcade game. It's not like it is a full game, but it's not like a full game. It's not like 20 something hours. It's probably 10 hours of story or whatever. But you just have to rescue survivors, deal with disputes in terms of one person doesn't like you say using the car because you've only got X amount of petrol, but another person needs you to move the car, use a car because the bag of the resources they're bringing back is splitting, and then you have to work out what you value more, the petrol for the vehicles or the resources that are bringing back, and you sort of go into houses and search the houses for food and medicine, and if you can't hold the stuff yourself, you can bring in guys from your from your like little group to like pick them up, and you use like your currency as like influence. So like the more like resources you bring back and the more you give to the group, the more they trust you, and then it means they'll like come out with you when you go, or they'll, you'll be able to like bring scavengers in to like pick up some resources, or you're about to like make trades with other survivors that aren't necessarily in your group based on how much they trust you. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoying
What was
it.
that game called again?
State of Decay.
I might check that out. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and it's like it's pretty
Mm.
tense. It's quite fast paced, and yeah, it's good. I'm really
Cool.
enjoying it. What else am I playing? I've played a little bit of Hazard Ops, which is a free-to-play Steam game, which is a third-person shooter, like MMO almost. It's kind of like horde mode. Like it's free-to-play, but it's kind of got that model where it's not necessarily like pay to win, but like you've got like
It's got microtransactions.
yeah, almost, yeah. It's got like microtransactions, but like your guns will expire after like 7 days, say, and then like
Okay.
you earn in-game currency, but like you spend your currency like buying the guns, and then I'm sure if you spend real money, you can keep them permanently or whatever, or like your armor like decays after like a certain amount of time. It's the same one used on, I can't remember what it's called, Warface, I think it is, for the Xbox.
Warframe?
Warface, it's from the Xbox.
Oh, right.
It was a free-to-play shoot they released. It's the same sort of model. You like, you've got like 7 days on a gun, and then like you can use it for 7 days, and then it goes, and then you're stuck with whatever you've got left in your inventory.
Don't like the sound of that at all.
I don't really like the sound of it that much, but you earn weaponry through like doing like the dailies. Playing like 3 games a day will earn you, a challenge, and that'll give you points, or it might just give you a weapon or things like that. And then obviously, like when you shoot enemies, you can pick their guns up off the floor. It's just what you go into the arena with. So you'll start with like a pistol, and then be able to pick up like an LMG or a flamethrower and things like that. So you can't, it doesn't inhibit you to be able to play the game. It just makes your life easier to start with, I'm guessing. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun though. I actually really enjoyed what I played of it. What else? Sorry, I'm just quickly consulting the old Steam library. I don't know if I talked about it last time, but I played Mountain Blade Warband, which is kind of an old game. It's like a
Oh,
Yeah, I think you
Yeah, it's got a lot
did.
of
Did we
play
talk about-
per minute because it came with a Humble Bundle, did it? It came,
I
it was
don't
like free
know.
for so much, and a lot of people I know were talking about Mountain Blade. It's like Mountain Blade.
Mountain
Mountain
Blade's so
Blade is-
good. It's like one of those like, you look at the time and you're like, oh shit, is it like already that time? Like I played it for, apparently I've got 4 hours on it, but it didn't feel like 4 hours playing. It's really fun.
What is it like? Is it an RTS or?
I don't know. It's got a really odd. It's got a really weird setup. So you've got like your hero, like your dude. You're going to like towns, and you can like gather peasants up and stuff.
Peasants
So
come
you
to
pay
me.
them, like it's not like, but you
Take my
you
money and
recruit-
come to
you
me.
recruit peasants to like fight for you basically. And you do like favors for like lords and ladies, and you can like join factions and like try to like when you go to war, like you can overthrow the things. But when you go into battles, it's like you control your dude, and you've got like control of your army, but from like your left mouse button swings a sword and stuff. Like it's actually like you control your dude, and then you've got like a set of commands on your keyboard. And then when you're moving around the big world map, instead of you like running around like you would in Skyrim, like in third person or whatever, or in first person if you're cool like I am. You can scroll out. It's like a big like geographical map, and you can just click where you want, and then like you've got like micro little people like roaming around. So you might get attacked by bandits, or you might run into his lordship here who's chasing after this guy, and you can aid him, or he might ask you to take a message to another guy for like favor and stuff. You can become like a bounty hunter. You can become a trader. It's like really open ended. Really interesting game.
Okay.
But
That sounds like a weird mix of different styles,
Really
but
odd, but it's
obviously
really
it
good.
seems to work.
it's really
right?
good. Really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave it there because I've talked for a while now. So
Okay. Spot, if you're happy to move on.
Talk away, talk away. While we're here.
If you are happy to move on, Josh, or
apart from that, tiny little bit of Lord of the Rings Online. About 4 or 5 levels in. Nothing much.
Cool.
Nothing interesting.
Is that the first time you've played it?
I played it a little bit in my first year. at uni, but I didn't have people to play it with. But hopefully, I'll be joining your kind self and possibly Humble as well, just for some shenanigans and play and bit of chat and bit of banter. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, if people stick playing it, I look forward to staying on the tail end with it because I love Tolkien. I love MMOs. I'm playing as a healer, and that was what I always used to do when I used to play other free-to-play games. So yeah, it'll be nice to be back in that role again and actually have like a role in a party and be able to play the class I like because you can't really solo as a healer. So
Yeah, it's a bit
bit
difficult.
awkward.
Plus, the thing with MMOs, it's all about the community that you make and the friends. Like, it's so much better if you've got friends on
Playing.
there that you know and play with, because it's just the experience is just 10 times better. But that's said with any
Well,
game,
yeah.
really. Even games like Call of Duty, if you were playing that online multiplayer, like, that's so much better with friends. Or I'm sure, Naz, you know exactly what we're talking about with, what yourselves and Humble and
Yeah.
Fireblades and everything do. It's so much fun just to watch, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
It's good content.
that's what it's all
Good
about.
fun.
Yeah. So Naz, yourself, what have you been playing? What have you been up to this month?
Disgusting amount of Destiny. Disgusting amount of Destiny. I've got to 8 days and 19 hours and 54 minutes worth of dead. That's a lot of Destiny to be
Right,
playing.
mate. I think we need an intervention. I think
A
we should.
small intervention might be needed. I guess it's a bit different for me because I see it as like I only sort of go on like it's almost like a daily task. I don't want to say it's like being an alcoholic, but it is like being an alcoholic. You go down to like Destiny or the pub, you do a little bit. You got a couple of bounties to pick up. Go kill a few of these, do a few missions here. Like, yeah, okay, do that. Before you know it, you wasted half hours of your day. It's like, oh, it's fine. I can walk away from it. But you keep coming back to it, and you just like, what am I doing? This is a cycle of just doing stuff.
It's less alcohol dependency, more heroin. than,
Yeah, it is. Just put it in my veins.
Yeah.
And just like it's the greatest fruit machine in the world.
It
just keeps on giving.
It just gives
I
you
probably
so
shouldn't do
much
that
crap.
action and say keep on giving, but yeah, it's
But you
probably
just
not a strong one.
fight for so long to get that little glimmer of purple or blue. Like, oh, special. This is a special thing that's happening now. And then you get the special thing. It's like, was it worth it? Maybe.
Probably not. I need to grind some more to get some more special stuff.
Yeah, that's it. But we've got to the point now, us and our clan, where we can take on the raids properly and we can do them really, really well. And that feels like a really big event because up until that point, you're kind of like dotted about. Doing the raids, you're going to go from going, oh, let's have a nice dawd around, have a bit of a chat, not even about Destiny, to this is the only thing that matters in the world. We can't do this. We might as well go kill ourselves. It just becomes like so integral that you just sort of naturally fall into job roles and stuff. And in a way, it's almost like what the game's been gearing up to. And it's a really hard game to recommend, Destiny, because it's like saying, well, if you put 20 hours into it, then you start getting into it. It's just like, well, no, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. That's crap. But when you do that, it's the best game in the world. I know all the guns feel really good, and it all sounds really good, and it all works really well together as a game. The story's gash. It's just completely not there. Don't even bother if you want the story in it. But for just the pure playing it and just
Almost like the MMO factor once again.
yeah, it is very, very MMO-y, very, very MMO-y. Just gives you that little bit just to keep going. Just that little bit of go, oh, if I just do this a little bit more, I'll be a bit better and I'll feel a bit better about my time spent here today.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I relate to that so much when my 7 years on and off WoW, like, of just, although you might have been doing the same, there was around level 40. There's the monasteries, the Scholar Man's monastery. I think they are.
yeah.
I can't remember.
Scarlet
but there's
Monastery.
like, yeah, that's it, Scarlet Monastery.
Yeah,
There's
it's in
like,
the
but there's a
Undead
group of 3 sort of dungeons within that area. And I was doing the same dungeon again and again and again and again and again to get this particular set of armor. It was like a helmet, a shoulder pad, and an axe.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't remember if there was any more to it, but I was doing that again and again and again. It's the same stuff again and again and again, but I was like, you know what? I didn't get it, but next time I'll get that helmet.
So
Next time I'll get that shoulder.
Feeds that little pleasurable loop in your brain if you keep doing the same thing, keep doing
Yeah.
a nice thing that comes through, and it's just like, yeah, I'll keep doing it.
Well, when you get to Burning Crusade, where was that? What was the land that was set in Burning Crusade?
Oh,
The
God.
Outlands.
The Outlands?
You get to Outlands, and like right at the south of the Outlands, there's a little island off the south of it. You need to fly to it. So you need to fly a mount by this point anyway. But if you can get there, you can grind dailies literally for like 2 weeks. And you can do that, but like there's a recurring daily where you have to like harvest like eggs and stuff, and then there's obviously like a set of actual dailies. And I ground for 2 weeks to get a dragon flying mount, and it was just oh my! By the end of the 2 weeks, I wanted to kill myself. But by the I think it's the reward in it though. I guess it's like
Yeah.
when you see that little glimmer of blue, you get that little
Yeah.
glimmer of purple. When I can ride my fancy dragon around the Outlands, I know that I've
It's worth it.
yeah, I've wasted my life, but it's totally worth it.
But I was like that in WoW when I was trying to make money like in WoW, because one of the things I absolutely hate about MMOs is just trying to make money. It's almost like a second life when you're like, oh, I'm an adventurer, but I've got to go do my job now, got to go do my profession, and I only half-heartedly did it because I was like a skinner and a tailor. So I'd skin all the leather and gather all the leather, but I realised instead of wasting more time making stuff and selling it, I could just sell the leather for like
you sell the
a
raw
couple of
mats,
gold.
That's what I used to do.
And eventually, if I just got enough of the leathers, sold it for enough money on the auction house, every time I was logging on, I'd get 10 gold here, 10 gold there. It was all right. It was great because people would buy it. Because you're essentially doing half of the gathering for people who are making all this stuff, So
because that's exactly what I was doing.
It's that sense of reward. It's like, oh, I must get this money so I can afford stuff.
Let me throw this one out here, Rob. So I'm guessing you played Night Elf Hunter or similar.
Yeah.
And you used to go to that farm by Stormwind with the boars, and you used to like volley shot out and then just skin all the boars.
No,
that's exactly what I used to do.
No, I probably did it worse than that. Like, bearing in mind, I've no skill at Warcraft at all. Like, I was terrible. No, I used to go. God, I can't even remember where it's called. But there's a bit. Here we go. There's a bit where right. Do you remember?
It all fits, and it's lovely.
Well, is it called Strathhole? I don't know. But there's where Booty Bay is.
Yeah.
That in the jungle.
Yes.
I used to go there. Yeah, that's it. I used to go there and kill like all these gorillas and things like that to get like medium and hard
You
leather.
monster, killing gorillas.
Yeah.
Animal.
I know, terrible. Bearing in mind as well, there's a bit of a horde spot as well, so I was like,
Strength of that was contested. Oh, right.
I like to live dangerously in WoW.
Where I know
Although
I can reach.
Never any good at PvP. Never.
I used to play on a PvP realm, so I was alright. I was okay.
It's all good then. So yeah, there was Destiny. I bought Dynasty Swords for my PS4 because I needed something to do, and Dynasty Swords is really good for giving you something to do, even if it's impossibly hard. Like some of the trophies are like ridiculous on it. It's just like I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to play Dynasty Warriors because it's been a while, and I'm enjoying that. It's just like the same. It's hitting Chinese dudes again and again and again and again and again and again and again until the infinite, forever and ever.
Oh man, I used to love Dynasty Warriors, but you're right. Like all those kind of like Japanese, Capcom, Sega games, they're all like, they all have like to get some of the cool items. I remember on one of them, like you could get like a tiger, like on a leash, and it would like attack enemies for you.
Yeah.
But to do it, you had to like kill like X amount of enemies and clear an entire stage in like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just
it comes from that old philosophy in games of trying to keep you playing for as long as possible, rather than having you keep putting your money back in because the idea of the sale, once it's gone, it's gone. But now we've got stuff like DLC and all the rest of it, expansion packs and all that lovely stuff to come into it, that you don't have to keep doing impossible things for people. You can give them the rewards now and tell them there are more rewards on the way.
Yeah.
Other than Dynasty Warriors, Smash Bros on the 3DS. My 3DS has been given a run out. That's pretty damn good. Damn good. And I've been playing Invisible Ink on Steam because that's a lot like XCOM, but with spies and money and risk, like major risk. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Sounds good.
What's that about? Then?
Essentially, you're in charge of a spy agency. You have 2 agents, and it's a tactical RPG. You basically send them around trying to nick money. Really, there's always you come across one area, and your agents or whatever skill it doesn't matter. It's all randomized, all generated procedurally. But you always come across this one area, and then there'll be this impossibly locked door. And all the treasures behind it. And the alarms for each area keeps going up. So alarm 1 is they're not noticing too much. By alarm 4 or 5, they're like right on you. They're going to kill you. And it doesn't take much to take you down. But it's always that kind of thing of like, if I had the skills or I had the time, I could open that thing up. And it's thinking, do I waste my time trying to open the big vault full of money that will help me out and give me loads of nice things? Or do I do the sensible thing and get out and just finish the mission? And it's that kind of, a lot of it's
Risk reward.
Yeah, risk.
Yeah.
And I often make the wrong decision, so I'm a terrible, terrible spy, as it turns out.
But all fun. All fun. That sounds good. Cool. Okay. Well, I suppose left for me if you're okay to move on, Naz.
Carry on.
So, what have I been playing? Well, I'll tell you. Not a lot really. I've not had a lot of time to sort of properly sit down really and play any of them video games. Obviously, earlier this month we did a charity live stream, so got to sit down and play some Diablo 3, as I said. Some some Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty Zombies as well. We've been playing a bit of that, which is all a bit of fun. More recently, I've kind of been stuck for what to play because I've not really been in the mood to play anything in particular. So I decided to sit down with Uncharted again and play that through again, but on a harder difficulty, and see if I can collect all the treasure and that. So it's quite nice going back to that, playing through Uncharted again.
That video earlier
was
beautiful.
It's definitely like if you've got a PS3.
Literally the most beautiful video you've ever done, by the way. Just watching you play Uncharted, like
so terribly.
So good. I was like hitting replay. I was like, I need to see this again. Have that in slow mo, please, Jeff.
Oh man,
it was great. So good.
So terrible.
So brilliant.
That's the problem when I'm doing a video and like trying to play and trying to look good for the video, because I've got a gaming channel. I'm meant to play games well. Is the stipulation? It's the stipulation.
Play them well. Often we don't.
No.
That's
Reality
entertainment
and
value lies.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
reality and
think
expectations,
and then
totally
you
different things. And then trying to stay on topic of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I still can't get used to it.
How long have you been
Still
doing this
can't
for
get
now,
used
Rob?
Too long.
I need to get out. Days away
I've got all
from
this to look forward to, apparently.
I've also just on the side note, because I don't think anyone's ever spoken about them, but iOS game.
Oh.
I've been playing a little iOS game
Yeah.
by the name of Run Sackboy Run.
okay. Is it one of these Eternal Runner games?
Is that the
but it's-
Little Big Planet one?
It is, yeah. It is. It's really. I love Little
It
Big
was.
Planet so much.
Yeah,
It's
that's
such
great.
a
It does look
fun,
quite fun.
awesome game, and it's so cute. It's just so cute. I mean, it's free to play. Yes, it's got some microtransactions and stuff, but it's one of those games you can just totally play for free. Essentially, all you're doing is kind of buying power-ups and things like that, but you get them in the game anyway. But it's just a nice little fun, almost like Temple Run type game.
Yeah.
You know, you just think, oh, I'm bored for 5 minutes. I'll just sit down and play a little bit of Run Sackboy Run. It is a little bit, yeah.
Oh my god, this is all I've done for like the last week.
Because you're like, oh, I've failed, but no, I one more time, one more game, and I'll do it. No, okay, one more game. This will be the last one, I promise. It's one of those games, but it is fun. It's really cute because it's Little Big Planet, and it's awesome.
It'd be really cool because
Yeah.
I used to have a Windows phone, and it was linked to my gamer tag, and I had like, does anybody know the board game Carcassonne? It's like a tile city building game. But
Okay.
because it was linked because it was like an Xbox. It was like one of the Xbox games for your phone. Like I got gamer score from my
Yeah.
achievements playing Carcassonne. It'd be really cool if they'd linked Run Sat by Run up to your PSN account, so you'd be then getting like trophies for playing
Yeah.
Run Sat by Run, like a nice
Yeah.
little bit of integration, and like to encourage you
Yeah,
to
it would
play
be, yeah.
Little Big Planet, and maybe like it would read your Little Big
Well,
Planet
I mean,
trophies to give you
Yeah.
power ups or whatever.
Didn't Little Big Planet 3 come out this week, I think, or last
I
week?
think it's this week or last week.
Really? I didn't know
Apparently
that
it's
at all.
not doing too. Yeah, but apparently it's not doing too well.
I think it's just been a bit of a while since we've had Little Big Planet 2. I think it's just
Yeah.
people kind of at the back of people's minds a little bit.
Potentially, but then
Great
again,
game, though.
like, because I only found out that it had come out, I think, last week, and I was like, has it?
What?
I
Yeah.
didn't even. Yeah, I
Alright.
didn't even know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, like there's kind of been nothing about it since E3, really.
There's been no, like, I figure there'd be something they would want to plug for the PS4 people for Christmas. They'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
Little Big Planet is coming to the brand new machine that you should buy, and it's all here and it's lovely. And so, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's been said.
I'm guessing it will appear as a bundle for people who don't want to, like, for moms who don't want to buy their kids PS4 with Battlefield,
Destiny.
or Destiny, or Call of Duty, or
Yeah.
FIFA
Fancy
or
Beasts
whatever.
that. Yeah.
But I mean, but apparently it's not been doing too well. But then I suppose it's one of those games like Little Big Planet 2, like kind of did it all in the end.
I like
It
to
sounds really
think that
stupid,
we-
but how do you mess up Little Big Planet? It's just such a great idea.
I don't think they've messed it up. I think it's a slow burner game. I
Yeah.
always consider Little Big Planet as one of those kind of games that once you get into it and you get it, it's the best game ever.
Yeah.
Once
Well, I
you're
mean-
able to explain to people and get them down and playing it, it's amazing. But when you try and explain it to people, oh, it's a platform, it's cutesy and fun, you can great stuff on it in place. But it's what? This is a bit too much. There's a bit too much overload here. It's just like you got to sit them down, you got to explain it to them, you got to let them play it a little bit because it's really really good. It's so simple, but at the same time, it's kind of intimidating.
It's really beautiful. It's like this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, until like, I don't know, what was it, like 6 months ago or something? Like, I came round Rob's place. I mean, I play Xbox, so I'd never really interacted with Little Big Planet before, and I sat down with Tiny Tasha, Rob's girlfriend,
Yeah.
and like she was just like, oh, come play, and I was just like, I don't know how to. She was just like, it's really easy. Like, you push this button to jump, and you push this button to grab. Go.
Yeah.
Like, keep up and just like you just run left or right, grabbing things and popping things and making stickers. It was great. And by the end of it, because I was just like, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to play it, but by the time I'd finished playing it, I really enjoyed it.
That's it. That's how it gets you. You just get
It's just such a, to me, Little Big Planet is just such a fun, colourful, charming, beautiful little game.
Yeah.
It's so creative, and it's something there's not a lot of that on the market really, because it's kind of, gaming at the moment is dominated quite heavily by the Call of Duties and the action games and the pow.
A lot of it's fear because it's so much money now, and they got to make. So I mean, we'll probably get into talking about stuff like Assassin's Creed Unity. What's been going on with that at the minute? Because I really
or what hasn't
want to get into that because I am not happy. To be
Oh
fair.
dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. But like, I mean, before I'd got a PS3, like Little Big Planet was one of those games that was on my list to get indefinitely, because I'd played it briefly years ago when it first came out with a friend of mine who had a PS3, and it was just, since then I was just like, I've got to get this game.
Yeah.
As soon as I get a PS3, I've got to get this game.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I preferred the first one to the second one. I don't know why. I mean, they did a lot more with the second one, and they had like a proper sort of storyline going on, but I think that was what
Maybe it's that sense of
I disliked
magic.
a little bit about it.
Maybe it's just that sense of like going into the unknown because it was an unknown. People didn't know what it was going to be at the time, and just that sense of going into the unknown. It's magical and it's lovely and it's all very nice. You don't get that same sensation with Call of Duty. You don't get that same sense of almost childlike wonder.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That it does bring a little bit of the childish you out in it, and it's I love Little Big Planets a bit.
Just
Absolutely love that.
It's
game.
just like a decently fun game, really. It's like
Yeah.
something you can just
Yeah,
pick up and
that's how I'd
it is
describe it. Decent
always fun. Like my favourite bit about Little Big Planet is always the just
being a dick.
yeah that too.
And betraying everyone, Ashton.
Hitting everyone off and making people
Always fun.
die. Yeah, it's always hilarious.
There's always one, and when Ashton's round,
It's
it's
always
him.
Ashton. Good.
It's always Ashton.
But yeah, like the maps made by everyone else, just like they're always so
Yeah.
good, and it's always great fun to play and knock people off and kill everyone else and make sure you get all the bubbles for yourself.
So much replayability and so much creativity as well among the fans of it. Because obviously, I think last week as well, someone who's been creating Final Fantasy VII, the entirety of that game on Little Big Planet, has completed it last week.
Son of a bitch! How's he managed that one? That's amazing.
I know. I don't even know.
I played a version of Dead Space on it, and that was like,
Did you?
Like, they did that really well. Really well, they did that Dead Space level, which is like, whoa, it's creepy. I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Run Sackboy Run. It's free to play. It is fun. It's just a fun little game, and you collect all the little orbs. It's got all the. It just made me smile instantly because the same music's in it, the same sound effects. I was just like, oh, Little Big Planet.
It's hard to hate that game, I guess.
It is. You can't not hate. Hang on. You can't hate Little Big Planet.
It's impossible to not love like Sackboy as well, or any iteration thereof.
I know. He's so cute.
Yeah,
He's
they're
amazing.
sweet, aren't they?
Love little Sackboy. Yeah. So yeah, that is what I've been playing. I think it's safe to say we move on.
Yeah, the main topic.
Yeah.
The main topic, which I think was brought on by Josh. It was your suggestion, wasn't it? If you wanna
So my
introduce
my
it.
suggestion for this time round was I'd watched Rob's video on like his thoughts about the next gen, and I was watching him, and he,
Which, if you click a link in the description now,
you'll find it. Yeah. Shall I do this thing? When we did the Fright Night video where I pointed and I was like, "He'll make it appear here," because you love some editing.
Please don't.
What do you mean, like here?
No.
Like, you'll make it appear here.
I can't make it appear on
sugar.
Naz.
Yeah, sorry, no, my bad. Because you're like, say, he'll make it appear here.
Because
somewhere.
that'll be a link to
here.
Naz's channel.
Yeah, no.
What I should say is I'll have an annotation there. Link to Naz's channel. It just takes you straight to that video of mine.
Loops around to literally every single video you've ever made.
Oh, sorry. Did I say you were going to Naz's channel? That was a
That's
lie.
mine. It's mine. No, so but I was watching this video, and in the video you're playing Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex, because awesome. And I was like watching you play Crash, and I was like, God, do you remember when games were like this? And my
Crash Bandicoot, someone who needs to come back.
Yeah, Crash needs to come back
indefinitely.
They'll probably make it into a first-person shooter where they kidnap the mask and
pseudo MMO.
Yeah, like
RPG.
What was that mask called? What was the mask called? Ooga Booga, kind of.
Ooga Booga.
Yeah, I don't.
Ooga Booga.
It's such a great part of my childhood.
But so like my sort of question was like looking at where we've come from, all the way from like Pong, sort of like 8-bit, to PS1, like a life system platforming, to now where it's all very serious and there's not really a penalty for you dying as such, or you just have to go back, or like in terms of like a linear, in terms of like development of how we're playing games, where do you think we're going?
That's a big question.
Go.
It depends. How do you mean where we're going?
So like so we've come from like 8-bit, sort of like put 25p in the machine, you play Pong until one of you reaches 5.
Yeah.
And then we had like Atari kind of esque games, or you play Space Invaders until the aliens hit the bottom of the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you only get one go at it, and then you're playing Crash Bandicoot or Mario.
I suppose what it is we've come from such an arcade, simple games, with simple goals and simple ways of completing it, to games that throughout it have got a bit more complicated with their gameplay styles, a bit more story, a bit more enriched characters, because obviously when Mario started, he was just called Jumpman. He didn't have a story. He didn't really have a character. It was just go from here to up here, beat up Donkey Kong and save, was it Rosie?
Could well be.
Peach.
Or Pauline, or one
Pauline.
of them. Pauline. And but to now it's it's become a bit more of a full blown thing.
Yeah.
So I suppose in essence, where are we going
Yeah,
with
how is
everything?
the formatting of the games going to have to
think
adapt to what we've done?
Right now, we have the broadest spectrum of games at any one point in time in terms of variety and general passion for it.
Yeah.
I think what has really made me think this certainly is you got stuff like Steam and PS Plus, which are just like cracking out indies for free. And
Yeah.
you can never turn down a free game. You can't turn down anything free. It's got the best word in the world, free. There's nothing you can't hate about anything that's free. It's like free
For me,
donuts.
for free.
Anything after the word free, it's all good. But it's we've got a lot of people, indie developers, who are making games based off their own experiences, like the Mario days, the Pong days, and all the rest of it. And certainly there are a lot of roguelikes in terms of like punishment. So like if you die, something like stuff like XCOM and Invisible Ink,
Eldritch, yeah.
Eldritch, Pixel Piracy. There's tons of stuff like that. Rogue Legacy as well. That's a game I really love. FTL. There's so much of that kind of stuff, and there's so much flipping around between different levels of beauty with the graphics, whether it's like the basic pixel style, so just stuff that just looks purely beautiful and amazing. And of course, we've got our big budget games, and they're very, very safe in spite of the fact that there doesn't seem to be a lot of testing going on. Some companies in question who have had to release free patches for certain high-profile games.
Ubisoft.
Yes, yeah, good.
But it's the same.
I mean that's what the thing that just surprises me so much, because obviously I think it's because we saw it last gen more so than I think any gen before.
Yeah.
In that there was a lot of people thinking, no one's really making games that I want to play. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what it boiled down to, because no one's making games I want to play. No one's making the sort of game I want to play. No one's making the sort of characters I want to play as, or all this. And I think it became a thing where, well, let's do it. Let's do it ourselves. Let's make these games ourselves, and thus was born the indie genre in a sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Like, it just exploded with that, like stuff like Fez. I love Fez. I don't like perhaps the man behind Fez, but I love Fez.
Yeah, Phil Fish is a total arsehole, but...
Yeah.
You realise you can be a bit of a slander and liable for that, Rob. Be careful.
That's got a perfect blend of...
He can fuck off, mate. I don't care.
You just get into Phil Fish and just keep
Should we
him
send
down.
this directly to his email?
If you want, I don't mind.
You are a dickhead.
I mean, dude needs to loosen up a bit. Jeez. Anyway, right, this isn't about Phil Fish.
This isn't about him. I find something out... who was Jonathan Blow as well, behind Braid. He's doing something new at the minute, but Braid I loved it because, again, it was something that was really simple but had really advanced mechanics.
Yeah, it was the time.
Yeah, it was like a
time mechanic.
Yeah, sort of based on movements or based on particular particles and stuff like that.
And this is the funny thing. Like, I mean, we'll go back to, because they are the probably the most popular or well-known games at the moment, and we'll go into one of them a little bit later on, I'm sure. Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. Now, I think I'm safe to say that these companies, Ubisoft and Infinity Ward / Treyarch / Sledgehammer now, whoever, they've made Activision. They've made the same fucking game for the past 7 years. It's safe to say.
Yeah.
They've made the same damn game for the past 7 years. And still, there's problems. Still, they're not doing it right. Still, there's always something wrong with it.
So many glitches in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so broken.
Yeah, these tiny little indie games that people pour their heart and soul into, games that have got a team of 1, 2, maybe 10 maximum behind them. And yes, they're not known graphically. They're little, maybe 8-bit, 16-bit, but I think that's part of the charm of it. Really,
yeah.
It's part of the attraction almost of these little indie titles. Is something different. But they've got some of the best mechanics, some of the best storytelling, some of the best everything. What's going on? What are they doing that these huge companies with so much money, so much publicity, able to get so much attention? What are they missing?
They're
Why
taking
can't
risks. That's what it is.
It's a bit of that.
Call of Duty. Call of Duty is safe. It's not innovative. You know, there's no innovation behind it. You are man behind cam, behind gun, and you walk through corridors, and you push left trigger to pull your gun up, and you push right trigger to shoot, and you click B to kneel down behind a block of concrete. Repeat and rinse for like 6 or 7 hours, and that's the game. Like, whereas say, you know, Eldritch, like that's a game I've got. I'm really into Lovecraft. It's a roguelike. It's a little bit different. It wasn't done on a big budget, but you know, to take that sort of that approach where it's like an exploration, kind of randomly generated, you know, involved with like a bit of lore. It's kind of survivally and it's roguelike. You know, you put a roguelike isn't for everyone. You put a roguelike out to the general community, and you'll hear lots of complaints because lots of people who are playing just want, and there's nothing wrong with it really, but lots of people just want to be able to sit down, pick up, and play, and if they die, not have to worry about any consequence from dying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why Dark Souls, you know, you either find it, you know, people love it, they hate it, because there's always a consequence to you not being quite fast enough on the button, and people don't like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think as well. There's definitely a select amount of games that quite obviously aren't being, or players that are favouring a certain genre that aren't being appealed to. And I think the most obvious ones are those fans of roguelikes and horror games, because more often than not, we're seeing horror games being given to people like from indie titles, you know, like Five Nights at Freddy's, Amnesia,
Sorry,
Outlast.
sorry guys, not to interrupt, but I've got to go.
Okay,
It's been lovely
no worries.
talking. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. So yeah.
Thank you, man. Nice
Cool.
to see you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on,
See you
Ashton.
later,
Do
guys.
appreciate it, although it was
Bye.
short.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right, no worries.
Catch you later, guys. Enjoy.
See you later, buddy. So, yeah, it's. I think there's definitely a market that's not being catered to, which these indies are now catering to, and in many ways they're doing it better
Yeah.
a little bit than,
I mean,
you know. So
like Slender, if you think about it, you walk around, you know, and you pick up, was it like 5 tapes, and try not to get like murdered by Slender Man. And like the concept of it is so simple. There's nothing, you know, there's nothing to it, but it is just so terrifyingly addictive. Like, I think that's. I mean, I think the problem with horror games, like generally as a genre, is people try too hard with them. Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I was watching Humble play it. Like, I watched the first night the other day, and it's like button here. Get on camera. Button here. Button here. Button here. Button here. Button there. And the concept of the game, if you've not played it, is you watch the cameras, wait to see if the models move, and when the models move, you shut the doors down and wait for them to go away. But I watched him miss a model, put down his camera, and I have never jumped so far in my life.
yeah,
Like,
I remember that, but I nearly dropped my laptop because I was like shuffling around on my sofa at the time, and I literally it jumped the shit out of me, and I nearly just fumbled my laptop.
but I think that game is far more terrifying than any Resident Evil game in the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, you know, games that back in the day, the PS1 era, were considered
Terrifying,
yeah, terrifying or cutting edge and brilliant. Resident Evil have now just become these shooter games. They've just almost as if they're trying to cater to the Call of Duty and, you know, I don't know, Gears of War fans or whatever. You know, it's as if it's forgotten its roots completely, and it's just how can we, you know, get out to the mainstream?
Yeah.
It's interesting that the games that have been mentioned, stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's and Slenderman and all that. Those are made by minuscule teams, they're tiny teams, and maybe the fact is that we got these teams that are so huge now. We got hundreds of people working on a game at any one point in time. Maybe we've lost all the rock stars of games, like all the Miyamotos are gone, all the Mikamis are gone, all those kinds of people, all those brilliant people who come up with ideas. It's that idea of like designing something by committee. Probably you'd end up with Call of Duty because that's what sells.
It's almost as if, as you say, Naz, like with the rock stars of gaming have gone. In many senses, those people that you mentioned, they were the directors, they were the driving force of these games. They were the people that said, okay, this is what it's going to be, this is how we're pushing it. Everyone who's on board, let's go.
That's it.
And I think you can see that with Unity, like Assassin's Creed Unity. This is not a game that's made by one team of, I don't know, 50.
Yeah.
This is made by Ubisoft around the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's missing that central.
It's missing the
team.
linchpin.
Yeah.
I say my favourite story of any gaming thing ever was behind Resident Evil 4, and they started designing Resident Evil 4 not long after they did Resident Evil 3, and the new console was coming out and whatever. And they were having trouble with it, so they brought in the original creator Shinji Mikami into it, who's of course done The Evil Within of late, which has been all right. What I've heard, I haven't played it because I'd be too terrified, but I've heard it's all right.
I've not heard good things about it at all. But
whatever. Each to their own. But anyway, he came in, he took a look at the current build, and he said, "No, scrap it. We're starting again." And that build ended up becoming Devil May Cry. And then they did a second build, and he was like, "No, scrap it again." Third build, "No, scrap it again. We're doing it my way now." And it's just there is no one with that power. Maybe Kojima.
You'd never see that again.
You could say, "Oh, you've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars and manpower into these games. I don't like it.
Start again.
Get rid of it. Start again." There's no one who can do that because it's just like, we need return on investment now.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 is just, that was definitely the pinnacle for the Resi series. Resi 4 is such a great game.
It brought me into the series properly. It definitely brought me into, because it gave me enough fear that I could play it and I'd be like, ooh, scared and whatever, but not so much that I would be like too afraid to play it. It gave me a weapon and an ability to use that properly, a way to defend myself properly, as opposed to thinking I'm probably going to use all my ammo on this one thing.
The thing I love about Resi is that when you move and you hit the trigger, it stands you still. So you see all these like things running at you, planted, and you're like, pop, 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 pop. It's like, oh my god, they're still coming at you. You're like having to like.
That first village is terrifying.
Like, if you mess it up like I did, you get chainsawed to death horrifically. It's horrible. I've not played Resi 4 since it was on the PS2. And, like, that is one of my ultimate gaming memories. Just like running into the house, trying to run away from the guy with the chainsaw. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, messing it up and just watching myself get decimated. It was one of the moments of me playing any game ever that just sticks in my brain because I was absolutely shit scared. It was terrifying. Oh man.
But that's the thing that's missing, as you say, Naz. It is I mean, the thing, like Assassin's Creed, using that as our prime example. The art team and the conception, like the design team, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Quite obviously, because they do make these phenomenal worlds. They make these amazing recreations of Paris, of Rome, of Jerusalem, and all these, all these different places around the world, and you can see how much love and detail and affections wanted to go into it.
Yeah.
And I think at the heart of it, it's the development. It's like the game development team that are letting everyone down, really, with it. With the bugs, the glitches, the everything, the no innovation, the gameplay. It's just the same. And it's a shame almost to let who are quite clearly a quite competent and good design team down.
I say on the inverse, we've got Batman. And that game's been pushed back twice now.
Arkham Knight.
Yes, it's got pushed back to early next year, and now it's been pushed back to June, I believe, of next year. And there was a recent bit of footage about the Ace Chemical plant infiltration, and that game looks so good now. So insanely good. I'm psyched for it.
I've still not completed Arkham City. It's so weird.
It's amazing. Get to the end.
I played Arkham Asylum, and I was just like blown away by it.
Oh,
The problem with Arkham City, I found, was like the reason that I loved Arkham Asylum was once again very suspense like orientated because you're obviously in the asylum and you're like corridors and it's crawl spaces and stuff, and then the city, it's just not tense.
it's
That
a
kind of lose
different
interest.
thing. It's much more combat orientated, and the story's a lot stronger, I believe, in City.
The story is really good. I was enjoying it, but
it's got a brilliant twist ending. Brilliant twist. I didn't see it coming, to be fair. Really didn't. Some people did, and I feel like a moron whenever they tell me it. I saw the twist coming. It's just like, I didn't. Just leave it alone.
Or are they just lying?
I've been there lying.
just to make you feel sad.
Yeah.
Sad Naz.
So sad.
But yeah, no, I mean, Arkham's definitely one of them games. Is just so good.
You find that
So
people
good.
get pissed off though. The problem is like you can't win one way or the other, because obviously like I can't even remember what the tagline on it was, but Duke Nukem was pushed back for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, push back and push back and push back and push back and push back. And the hype for it got so real because everyone was like, okay, man, they've been working on this game for so fucking long now. It best be good.
Final Fantasy 15 syndrome now as
And
well.
then it's like,
Yeah.
and then you play the game and it is literally a turd. And it's like what, man? I wasted 10 years of my life waiting for you to release a sequel to one of the most iconic series of games ever, and you just drop the ball. So it's like you can't win because you release it too soon and everyone hates you because you've not put enough effort in to get it right.
Yeah.
But you put too much. I think they were just smoking blunts, if I'm completely honest, for 10
Gearbox
years.
is a really
But
weird company because they've given us two of the most awful current gen games ever, Colonial Marines and Duke Nukem.
Oh my god, that's another game. Colonial
yeah, that
Marines,
went back
right?
ages as well.
That was
That
made by like several different teams,
Mm.
all doing different things with it, and that's why it became the heap of shit that it was.
Yes, there is that. But they've also made Borderlands, which is quite alright, to be fair. I quite
Fair
enjoy
enough.
it. It's such a weird spin of the. It's the same with
Really hit or miss.
who am I thinking of at the minute? Shit, Platinum Games. Platinum Games make really good games. They just don't sell. Nobody buys them because they're just so weird. But they recently did like a really crappy game, which is based off a license. So I think they shouldn't be allowed licenses anymore. It's as simple as that. For Platinum.
Just take
They'll
it away
the
from
license
them.
away from you because you don't know how to handle them. Make your own games. They're brilliant.
I'm trying to think of like the developer that I always find is super hit or miss.
They do.
I think actually like Ubisoft, funnily enough, like Ubisoft for me have made some of the best games like period. They're responsible for one of my all-time favourite games, Rainbow Six Vegas 2, great game.
Yeah.
Vegas 1, great game. Like Splinter Cell, phenomenal. Like there's loads that you can attribute to them, and then just some of them are just god awful.
I'm going to have to sort of be the devil's advocate because we have punched Ubisoft quite a lot here. I like to think they do the big budget games almost to fuel the smaller games, stuff like Child of Light and Valiant Hearts.
Yeah.
Whatever. They take some of that money in there, while someone like Activision doesn't.
Yeah, no.
They're
Like,
much more stakeholder orientated than the Ubisoft craps are. I love Ubisoft. Like Legends, Rayman Legends was amazing. I loved it
Yeah.
so much.
there you go.
Not played it, but if it's anything like Rayman Origins, then
It's amazing if you get it. 'Cause
yeah.
You get
I
all
mean,
the
we
origins.
could start the old EA hate train if you want to. We could go there. Like
I don't know at the minute. EA's a really weird company. They had a really weird E3.
Yeah,
I
they
think that was
did.
the last time I was on, and I
yeah, it
understand
was.
the time. But the way they did their E3 was kind of to say, here are the games we're working on. We're not going to talk about them too much, but we are working on them. Look at the men working on it. It's like, yeah, what else?
Quick, here's a video of them working on
Yeah,
it. You
that's
can
it.
clearly see we're working on it.
And I do think stuff like Battlefront and Mass Effect are going to be good games. They're going to be really good games. But I also think, what are you doing in the meantime? Are you living off FIFA for a bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, like they're responsible for, the year in year out, put sports association on a game
Yeah.
15 every single year in year out. But they also were responsible for one of my favourite games of the last gen / this gen, Garden Warfare.
Yeah.
Fantastic game, but
And it's a weird one. It's a weird one.
A
Although
bit
I
of a weird-
But like going back to kind of because I think not totally gone off
Yeah, we-
topic, but a little bit.
fished out.
Like, is this something we have to expect now and just accept that developers are going to create these games and release them, and we're going to pay £40, there you go, or $60 wherever you're from,
Yeah.
you know, which, let's be honest, is a lot of
It's
money,
a lot of money.
for games that clearly aren't finished, games that are having to be released with day one patches, and you know they think, oh, it's okay because now we've got the internet, we'll just keep patching it, we'll keep giving you updates, so eventually 2-3 months down the line you'll be able to play the game fine.
I've sworn to stop pre-orders now. Because
Yeah.
that's something that I can't advocate now. Because if they're going to do stuff like day one patch and all the rest of it,
Yeah, just
and they're going to
not-
hold back on reviews, I'm not going to give you my money until I'm certain
Yeah,
it's a good
because
product.
they had a review embargo on Unity, which was you could release your review or opinions about it 24 hours after the general release of the game,
Yeah.
which in itself is a little bit shady because is the reason you've done this because you know the game's fucking broken?
Yeah. I mean, they don't do that with Nintendo games because Nintendo do good games like Smash Bros. I've been playing it.
Super Smash Bros. 3DS.
Super Smash Bros. Yes. What am I doing? Blanked out for a minute. But the reviews for those two games, the 3DS version and the Wii U version, came out 2 weeks before the games have been coming out, and it's just kind of like, yeah, they're really, really good. It's like, well, there we go. I've sold it to me. I can trust in that now.
I remember the good old days where you used to get that, where you used to like log on like 3 or 4 days before the game was released and just read up your review and then just be like, okay, here's my £40. Do I want
Yeah.
to invest this
That's
or
it.
not?
It's
And
almost like you're being limited as a consumer now. You can't make a financial decision. You shouldn't be able to make a financial decision until you've got enough information about the game. But they're at the same point in time saying, if you pre-order now, you can get XYZ content. And I'm kind of thinking, well, one, I can do without that because that just seems like a bit of a boost to me. And two, you're trying to guarantee to me if I'm going to like this game before I bought it. And it's the same with setting up sequels. Assassin's Creed's done it, and Call of Duty's done it, and all the rest of it. All the games that have got sequels and stuff in mind to keep themselves going. Destiny as well, but that feels very pre-sequel orientated. But it's kind of like, oh, stick with us because we're going to do more games. We're going to be doing more stuff. It's like I don't overlike the stuff now at the minute, so I'll tell you through sales or whatever whether I think you're worthy of a sequel. There's a lot of fear at the minute trying to keep custom. There's a lot of fear.
But I think a lot of it, to me, is just anti-consumer.
Mm.
This trying to ram down like early access and pre-order bonuses, things like that, it's anti-consumer to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if if this game's any good. Plus, even things like day one DLC. What's that all
Yeah,
about?
it's annoying.
No.
I hate that. I mean, why am I going to be disadvantaged, or why am I gonna not be able to have the full content straight away? Just because I don't want to pre-order.
That's it.
Why is that? And even Assassin's Creed Unity, it's got its own little microtransaction store
Yeah.
in a single-player game. What's that all about?
I don't know what it is. I've only seen the.
Well, there's Uplay. That's always been a thing.
Uplay's a weird one though. Uplay's a kind of reward system that I don't understand what the rewards you get from it are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little marker come up in the use. Okay, you've earned 10 Uplay points. Like, great. What are they
Cool.
for? Well, what am I going to do with those? Can I get free games with them? Can I get this? They're just things. They're just things.
It's just cosmetics
They're
most
just
of the time.
things.
I think
But
for Splinter Cell, they were like guns, basically. They were just,
Yeah.
they were guns that allowed you to mark extra targets when they were still silent. And like, you'd spend like 20 Uplay points and you better unlock this pistol. And it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
But to me, it's pathetic because it's content that was quite obviously in the game, but then someone's come along and said, "How can we put that behind a paywall?"
That
Yeah.
fucking annoys
Do they
me.
need that game?
That really fucking annoys
Maybe
me.
they could pay for that gun.
What annoys me is
Oh.
it's day doesn't bother me, providing that when you click yes, I want to download day one DLC, you're downloading 500 meg. When you're downloading 500 kilobytes, it's on the disc, and that
Yeah.
fucks
Yeah.
me off. I don't mind
Yeah.
paying, like if I storm a game if I'm like an avid Call of Duty fan and I storm the game and I get through and I'm like, shit, I want more, and there's DLC and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it, and I'm just like, okay, and I click that button and it's like a gig, and I'm just like, you know what, I can wait. Like I'd rather wait and download something extra because I just feel so betrayed when I know it's there, it's on that little piece of
Yeah.
perspex, and it's just like, are you really charging me an extra £8 for something that you've already got on the disc?
It's anti-consumer.
There's
It's anti-consumer.
There's a really weird one actually I want to do about again Assassin's Creed. It was Assassin's Creed 2, which I love. I really, really liked Assassin's Creed 2 because they fixed everything that was wrong in the first one. They looked at the first one and went, didn't really do well. Let's fix it, and they fixed everything. It's the
it's a great game.
best sequel in the world.
So, well, I mean, I've not played Assassin's Creed 2,
Really?
but no,
Best sequel.
literally last Assassin's Creed game I played was the first one.
Yeah.
And it was actually, in fact, the first time I'd ever heard the term next gen.
Yeah.
Not that I understood at the time what it meant, but I was like, I need to get this game because it's next gen.
Yeah.
Next gen's obviously good.
Oh,
So,
isn't
I'm not a
but-
fan.
I mean, the game as a whole, it kind of blew me away a little bit. I'd never played a game like that before, and Assassin's Creed is a great game.
Yeah.
Like the original was a great game. Admittedly, it's very repetitive.
I just
And I think-
couldn't play
I'm
it.
collecting all those
I think maybe Assassin's Creed
Not doing those
Creed
flags.
2 dealt with that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a good game. But now it's just the same repetitive nonsense every game. And the only game that you know of the series that they made where they did switch it up a bit, and it was a little bit fun. And maybe we'd thought, oh, have Ubisoft learned? Maybe are we now trying to innovate Assassin's Creed? Was Black Flag with the pirate stuff? But no,
Never mind.
Unity straight back to
False
the same
alarm,
old
guys.
fucking
False alarm.
straight back to the same old system.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was saying about it was the game works on sequences of memory. You go from sequences 1 to 15 normally. I got an Xbox, so obviously 1,000 points to achievement, and then you get 1,000 points. Then it's like, oh, you've got the special 100% marker in your profile. I was playing for it quite fine, and then in the story, one of the memories glitches and whatever, and it's like, oh, fair enough, that's part of the story, and whatever. Get to the end of the game, and then I realised the reason I'm not as close as I could be to the end is because I can't get that sequence because that's DLC. They put the achievements on the game, but because it's DLC, you can't actually get it until you pay for it. It's like, well, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. It's kind of that's very cynical. I felt to sort of do that. I don't know how to explain it, but it just...
That's the sad thing. That sort of practice and that sort of thing is becoming more the norm, more acceptable. And it's disgusting. You think years and years ago in PS1 or PS2 eras, and this is when there wasn't a lot of money back in video games as well, in the industry.
Yeah.
Developers and publishers wouldn't dare put out a game that wasn't finished, or they knew was wasn't properly ironed out.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, a few managed to come through the cracks and the filters, i.e. Superman 64 and the Atari ET game, maybe, which was so bad they had to bury it all in a desert.
And kill the industry,
Yeah, but things like that, it was extremely rare because, is it now that with the happened more the last gen and obviously will continue probably this gen, but hopefully not for long, they think, oh, it's okay because this is the age of the internet. We can just send them a little patch along on day one or after a week, fix up a couple of bugs that we know are in there, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's playable-ish. We'll get our 40 quid, thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. Ensure sales by making the review embargo a day later after release, But it's okay because we'll patch it, but we'll say we'll patch it once people realise it's broken as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, what do we think about
why?
stuff like,
Why is that an acceptable thing?
Stuff like early access and Kickstarters.
Oh.
I mean,
We've already had this conversation, I'm pretty sure. Did we have it with Humble on the podcast?
I'd say,
I think we vaguely spoke about it.
Is that the way forward for the industry, perhaps, for some publishers? As a route, is it a viable option? Because obviously some people from it, from like...
I've got very mixed feelings about early access.
Yeah, I think
personally
the issue that we had with it last time, and I think me and Rob both came to the same consensus, was that why the hell would you pay 50 quid for a game that's an alpha?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I've contributed to a couple of Kickstarters. I did the Republic Kickstarter, which is an iOS game. I did the one for Pillars of Eternity. I've done a couple of others as well, little things. I think in many senses, it's you get behind it almost. Like the guys who did Republic were former Metal Gear Solid people who were doing it, and for me, because I followed them when they were doing MGS4 and the way they were talking about it was like developer diaries and whatever. I kind of felt, I wanted to get behind this guy, Ryan Payton, because he was like just a nice bloke. He was very passionate about the industry. I was like, yeah, I'm more than happy to support you, and I'm glad I did. For me, because it was kind of more almost like helping out a friend. I know, obviously, we're not friends. We don't socialise. We're like millions of miles apart, but still.
But I suppose it's the one of the things that you don't get from these huge companies though, like Capcom or Square Enix or Ubisoft or EA. You don't get that person sitting down there telling you exactly what's going on. They're not saying, okay, let me lay it out on the table for you.
Yeah.
This is our intention. This is what we need, and this is why we need this much money, and this is our goal. This is what we want to do with all this.
Yeah.
And here's all our cards.
Yeah.
We don't get that. We get that with some Kickstarters.
Yeah.
And hopefully those are the Kickstarters that are probably the most successful. Obviously, we've had a bit of weirdness with Kickstarter the last couple of years, and I think a lot of people are detracted a little bit from it with a couple of projects not going quite to plan, some people running off with the money, or you're putting money into a project you think, yeah, this will be awesome, and then not hearing anything about it for the next 6 months or so. Obviously, those companies that are engaging with their customers properly and updating them, I think they're the ones that are hopefully will get the success and deserve the patronage. But it's that sort of, and I think this is one of the appeals to Kickstarter for people, is that openness, and that let's share you into the journey and the production of this game, and so you understand why we're asking you for this money, why we need this money, what we're going to use this money for. Whereas you just don't get that you don't get that openness and that friendliness. As you said, you don't know this guy from Jack, but to you it's the way he's, like, I suppose, presented himself and presented what his idea is, that you feel like he's just one of your mates and you want to help him out.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, like, I felt exactly the same way when I didn't really have much money at the time, but I put a couple of quid into to tabletop, Will Wheaton. Just because, Will Wheaton is just one of these really lovable kind of characters that was kind of on, like, a beloved television show, and then, was very, very, like, very funny and very friendly and always, like, super nice and always, like, very informative. And it's like, he's likable and he's very transparent. And it's just like, okay, here's why we need, like, £1 million for tabletop. And he just went bang, 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 straight down.
Yeah.
And he's delivered good on his promise. Like, and I think if more people sort of took that, I mean, obviously I know that that's a web series, but if people took that same approach to games,
certainly that level of transparency,
definitely, I think we'd be getting a lot further. I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's like, here's what we're doing, here's what we're spending the money for, here's why we need the money, and I'm passionate about this project, and I want you to be passionate about this project that I'm doing, so we can together make this game.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get that with the big companies. As far as we're aware, it's all about money and stockholders, and clearly it is, because you get games that are released that don't even fucking work.
I think bringing it back round, I think your big IPs, I think they're starting to become like a rift between gamers almost. You've got your sort of, and it's not to detract that they're any less gamers or whatever, but you have your guys who love their AAAs. They love their big explosions. They want, punch after punch, and they want their multiplayer, and they want their corridors.
Guns, and more guns.
Get your guns. But you've got these kinds of guys, and these kinds of guys are willing to fork out for Unity, even though they know it's broken, because they have to have it. And then the other rift, it's sort of the side that I've started to fall more on now, especially now having access to a machine that is Steam capable, thank fuck. But I've started to really, really enjoy my little indie games, my Eldritches, your Binding of Isaacs, your FTL, Terraria, like these kinds of games. And I'm starting to sense this sort of rift now, where you kind of either kind of go along with the whole console playing AAA, even though, and yeah, fine, you might bitch and moan about it a bit. I mean, I'm sure every single person in this podcast has played Call of Duty at one point and just gone, "Oh, I'm not buying the next one," and then 6 months later, it's in front of you and you're playing it, and you're like, "Oh, I swore I wouldn't do this to myself," but you're doing it anyway. You know, like
I can safely say I've never done that.
I think what it comes down to is the fact that probably since the Wii, I'd say that the audience has expanded greatly, like exponentially so. To a point now where we've got more games than we've ever had before. We've got the biggest variety of people coming into it, doing it for various reasons, whether it be on mobile devices, whether it be at home on a console, whether it be on Steam, whatever. But in that, also, the industry's become almost stretched thin to try and cater for it. Certainly the big companies can't do it. And I think the breadth of games are going to continue growing, and we're going to continue going backwards and forwards. But in many sense, I do sense there's going to be maybe a crash for the AAA, certainly if they don't watch it, because it's getting so bloated now and so overwrought.
I think people are beginning to see through
the BS.
see the yeah. They're beginning to see it more and more and more, and they're beginning to see what these companies are trying to get away with, and obviously more and more people are getting so fed up with it, and I think it's becoming a point of like, look, if you're not going to fucking innovate your game, if you're going to stop bullshitting us around with your stupid practices, I'm not interested.
That's it. And
I'm not interested.
I just don't see why people can pledge their allegiances to Xbox or PlayStation or like whatever, because they're not your friends. They don't really care too much. If anything, you're fighting their war for them. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like playing games. I like various publishers and developers, and I don't like console manufacturers. I don't like them. They're just something that help me play a game, really.
Yeah, but I think but even like these big developers, they're not obviously like, I mean, they care more about their console ports or games than they do their PC ports. Clearly,
that's where the money is.
Because a lot of the time you get these PC ports of these games, and they're terrible.
Yeah,
they don't even work properly. You know, a great example again, Assassin's Creed Unity. If you've got a high-end PC, and I'm talking top quality high-end PC, the game don't even fucking work. And these are like systems that should be able that would, you know, they wouldn't even batter an eyelid at playing certain games. The fan wouldn't even go. Like that's how easy it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the fan would probably go because it needs to cool. Anyway, you know, these are, you know, this is something that Assassin's Creed should be able to play on fine, because let's be honest, it's not really the heart of next gen. It's not.
No.
To me, it looks all right, but it's not using the maximum capabilities of the Xbox or the 360 or the PS4, is it?
No, I felt that about Destiny. Not so much the gameplay and such, but the way it dealt with the online community, because it's very, very clever the way it keeps the numbers right and it keeps you moving together as a group and a team. Until you're sitting down and playing it and really taking a note of it and seeing how it all works together, you don't appreciate it. You're just like, oh, he's going around with a gun or whatever. But to see that online infrastructure working so well, it's just, I don't know how they're doing it. It might as well be magic to me, but for me, that sort of kick-started that off. It's kind of like Dark Souls almost as well. The way that does online, it sort of brings people randomly into the game. It just does it in a subtle way. It doesn't have to be death matches and stuff like that. It can just be little subtle things that you do with it. I think that's just so clever, and I think that's the way forward certainly in terms of AAA, certainly in terms of the way games are going, because we're becoming more and more connected as we improve our technology and infrastructures and all the rest of it. And it's going to get to a point where I'm going to be able to play with my mates no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, really. And I think that's great, because that's why I play games, so I can play with my friends.
Community. Cool.
Yeah. Definitely. So I think really the way we're going, I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're going forward in gaming in a positive way, or do you think there's going to be a bit of turmoil with the way things are going at the moment? Do you know how do you see it panning out? Because obviously we've got some dodgy. There's still people doing it right, and there's still things that are doing things right. But again, there's still some dodgy practices going on. There really is, especially with these big companies, as we've discussed.
Well,
the way I see
Naz,
it,
where do you think we're? Or Josh, where do you think we're going? Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it is that you've got your AAAs, and as Naz says, we've got loads of people coming in, getting interested in picking up a controller, getting interested in grabbing their iOS and going through the App Store and playing Run Sackboy Run or whatever. Like, we're starting to get these people through the door, and as Naz says, like, the AAAs. The AAAs can only do so much, so they're sticking to their Call of Duties, their Assassin's Creed, and the people who want to graduate through these kinds of like linear progressions can get there, and those who are sort of like growing up or a little bit more into it or whatever, where we used to have AAA games, we had our Skyrim, Skyrim's not even that old, but we had Skyrim, we had Dark Souls, I don't see in the future we're going to have those sorts of games on huge platforms like AAA titles.
No.
Where I see this coming from is now this indie market who is really like on their on point, getting back to the core of it again, and they're going to pick the deficit up. So you're still going to have your linear progressions getting people through the doors, and then when people get sick of them eventually, because we've all got sick of. I mean, I know that me for one, I'm sick of AAA gaming. I'm more than happy to sit there and play indie games and just explore and.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't at the moment, and it's frustrating. I think this is one of the reasons why I feel a bit. Oh, I don't know what to play.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for me because I really want to get a PC, and I will eventually. Hopefully next year I plan on getting a PC so I can play some games, and then obviously play with you guys a lot easier because I want to do that. Because you guys have so much fun, especially Naz. Fucking watching Humble's videos of you playing Prop Hunt. It looks like so much fun, and even that's just a little indie mod game.
Yeah.
So simple, but so fun.
Absolutely.
Such a stupid, simple little idea, and you'd never see it in Call of Duty or Ubisoft making something like that, where you literally become a chair and hide and hope you don't get shot or blown up.
It's such a great idea.
I mean, no one's doing that.
No.
Like, it's hilarious. But anyway, I really want to play games like the Banner Saga.
Yeah.
Games like Divinity Original Sin, which was a game that was kickstarted a couple of years back and it was come out 2-3 months ago.
Done really well.
And that's a co-op game, Josh.
Okay. Subtle hints there, then, Rob.
Subtle hint. But that's a game that really harkens back to Baldur's Gate era computer RPG D&D style, which is, again, I've been getting more and more into tabletop role playing, and Josh, big hint, we need to get back into playing our game.
DM noted.
And even games like Wasteland as well. A game very, very, I think made by some of the original people who did Fallout.
Probably.
And everything, which is a smallish indie Kickstarter game. That very just Fallout-esque. But those are the types of games that I find I'm wanting to play, but obviously I can't due to lack of
power,
it being on console, and obviously lack of having a PC.
Yeah.
But those aren't the games that are being catered to me. I find, it's not. No one's making these games except for these small companies that are doing Kickstarter by means of Kickstarter. And for PC.
I think for people like, especially like people like you, I mean, because obviously like this year, unfortunately, one of my relatives died and I came into some inheritance, and that was how I got my PC, and I wouldn't have had one otherwise. But I am so glad that I had my PC, and God rest his soul, thank you very much for it, because, it is, because I had this problem where I'd come out to yours in the summer and I'd be like, man, what do I play? Like, I've got nothing. Can I borrow this, that, and the other? Because I've got literally nothing to play. And I've come on to...
No, because I've got nothing else to play.
I've had the PC, and I've loaded up my Steam, and I've got this wealth of games that I bought hoping to get a PC. I've not got any of them downloaded on my computer, because I've just gone and I've found all these like little cool indie games like Eldritch and Ghostmaster and Game Dev Tycoon and all these weird little sort of funny little games, and they're just so great. And that's the side of it that I really like. Things like Game Dev Tycoon, you know, having a game where you sit in front of the PC, playing a game about making games with hilarious little, you know, it's Nintendo and
Yeah.
Boney and, you know, Orange and like.
But
it's
again,
so
such a
beautiful.
great satire for what's actually
Yeah,
going
it is.
on in the video games industry.
It is a beautiful, beautiful game, and it wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't have been able to play it if not for like indie developers resisting against these like AAA sort of formulas. And
Yeah.
I think good on you. Like if you're doing that sort of thing and you're watching this and you're an indie developer or an inspiring indie developer, I will kickstart your game personally. Okay, like carry on doing it. It's good. I like it.
I'll say perhaps we do a quick skim over perhaps how far we've come along with art in the industry. It's certainly what video games are as an artistic medium. Perhaps we just sort of think about that for a second. I mean,
That was the original. That was actually the original question I asked.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of gone all around the Wrekin, but
yeah,
how did we get from, you know, 3 Life, Crash Bandicoot to Call of Duty? Just go back to the last checkpoint. It's fine. You don't actually have to go back that far. It's just about 5 minutes that way.
Yeah.
You know, how did we get from there to there? Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, that's it. I certainly think artistically the biggest advocate for it is The Last of Us for me.
I've not played it, unfortunately.
Are you talking maybe the PS3 version or PS4 version?
I'm talking just the game. It doesn't matter how it looks really for me because it just looks like the game. I'm talking about it treating the game itself as an artistic medium, not necessarily the art in the game itself.
Okay, yeah.
So it's that concept of. I know Naughty Dog's a really weird company. They get a lot of credit for doing not too much. They do a lot of really good stories. There isn't anything you could sort of pin on and go, that was an innovation. They just do a lot of stuff really, really, really well. And that's how it should be. And
yeah, I mean, like, Uncharted wasn't, to me anyway, wasn't amazing. It wasn't an innovation. It was Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Really. Maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it was just Tomb Raider. It didn't particularly do the shooting amazingly. Its puzzles could have been better. You know, you still had the annoyance of, I'm going to jump over here. No, okay, you're jumping sideways instead of forward. Thank you, Nathan Drake. You've killed yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was, and you know, playing the first one, I think the series got better as it went on. But the first one, it was a bit just repetition. It was just the same sort of thing every time. Oh, this bit, we shoot these guys, move on, shoot these guys, all puzzle. But it was the story, it was the characters, it was the world.
That's it.
I think that
there was nothing that was
engaged
jarring
me.
There was nothing that would take you out of that game. Like by the time we got to the 3, it was fairly cinematic. There was a lot of QTE stuff in there, all the rest of it. But it felt so well assembled, so cinematic, and the blend between coming in and out of gameplay was just so seamless. It just made that game perfect for what it is, which was a really good narrative story. And it's the same.
And I definitely think it was a great representation of what the PS3 could do as well at the time.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way about The Last of Us. The way the music is made, it's all acoustic guitars. The way the cuts, like a big event will happen. It's like, oh my god, how's that happen? Cut. 3 or 4 months happen. And it just says winter, whatever. It's just like, oh my, you can't skip all of that. We have to have a conversation. It's like, no, we don't have to have that conversation. We don't have to talk about what happened with that character or what happened in that situation. We're just going to jump forward and just keep the story moving. The general horror of it as well. It's just so, and I don't care about there's checkpoints in there or anything like that because that game kept me moving onwards, and it was a depressing ride. It was a lot like The Road. It just constantly depressing, post-control, but it kept giving back and it kept sort of pushing towards.
But we're definitely seeing an innovation in storytelling, the way we tell stories in video games, and characters, and engaging players into these stories and these characters and these worlds. Indefinitely. Even like the original two, the latest Tomb Raider, published by Square Enix and developed by
Crystal Dynamics.
That's it, Crystal Dynamics. even that, you know, that's the early story of Tomb Raider, how Lara became the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
You know, and there was like, that was known, or that was given so much credit for being just such an innovation, for it's the way it put that character across, and making you understand why
Lara
or how
does
she
the things
became
she does.
Lara Croft and the Lara Croft that we know, you know, and it's that, I think, innovation and getting you to feel for a character or understand the character, or
Yeah.
that has gone. That's
Yeah,
you know,
we've broken down that wall, and now it's just a case of getting everything right. We need almost like a Citizen K moment, sort of that moment where people think, "My God, this is really of artistic merit. This is something that should be in the music. This should be something that's shown to people." And going, that's why games are good. At the minute, it's Portal 2 in my head, but I know we can do better, much better.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely been those games, the innovation, that are perfect examples of that, or perfect examples of that growing. And I definitely think The Last of Us is one of those. That's a game that's heralded so highly for being that. And I think Naughty Dog are definitely one of these companies that are ones to watch in the future. I think, you know, obviously EA's been a bit dodgy. We'll see how they are this gen. But Ubisoft, you know, again, they're going downhill a little bit. Square Enix again. Capcom again. Sega even. You know, some of these companies that were heralded high. But I think we're seeing more of the smaller big companies rising up. I mean, I just want to point in the direction of, is it Project CD Red?
Yes.
Who are doing The Witcher 3. Obviously, that's going to be a huge title for next year, I think.
Yeah.
Indefinitely. But the fact that their business practices are like no one else.
No.
They have got planned, I think, like nearly 20 pieces of DLC. And that includes, you know, just like costume packs and quest packs and proper expansion packs, as it were, and things like that. That's all planned, but they're going to give it to the players for free.
Yeah.
That was
they're going to give it to you for free.
Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare's approach as well. You know, you play a little bit, and then it was like, oh, here's some DLC, and I was just like, oh shit, here we go, EA. It's free, really?
And the reason they've said it's free is because, well, you're buying our game, you've put interest into our game. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why would we want to charge you any more? You're playing our game. Like, take it. Take our DLC.
We don't want it.
You know, and I just think that's such a I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but it's such like a modern way of thinking.
Yes.
You know, it's so unique. Yeah, it's and I think more companies take on approaches like that, less monetarily minded, less worrying about our stock shareholders and people like that. Let's worry about the fans. Let's worry about the people who we're selling these games to, because it's trust. All this is based on trust. Same with, as you said, Naz, the pre-orders.
Yeah.
That's based on trust. That's based on you trusting Ubisoft that Assassin's Creed Unity is going to be amazing, is going to be the next gen game that I want to play, is going to be playable fully and completely on day one.
Well, it was.
That's trust.
After a patch.
After a patch.
Yeah.
Or 2. Or 3.
7, 9, 14. You never actually. Never mind. We gave up. It's too hard.
I'm getting more fun out of just opening the case now. It's brilliant.
So good.
60 quid, or 40 quid, well worth
Oh,
it.
be careful.
Probably
The
closer to
Hinge will be DLC soon.
Here's just these 2 pieces of plastic you can put on top of each other. They won't stay there, though. That's coming in DLC.
Here we go.
Oh, you want the disc as well? You'll have to wait till next year.
We have an exciting update for you. By that time, the game actually might be. No, never mind, guys. Fuck it. We're scrapping it. Right, you know that hole that we dug next to ET?
Put it all in there.
It's going in there, yeah.
Replace the hole.
Refill the hole.
Oh god, I'm afraid that's going to happen one of these days, and the industry will crash. It'd just be like,
Well, it's
well,
alright.
we made a game that's so bad and used so much money that we just got to stop making games for a bit again.
And I think because now we has the internet, And there are obviously loads of indie companies doing really good things. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that'll happen. I think maybe AAA will get too fat and fall off its chair.
Yeah, and then that'd be a shame if it does go, because I quite like some AAA game, like certainly the Batman game that's coming out.
Like I
to me,
said,
that's
but to be
hot.
fair, we've all said it. They deserve it almost. Like if you're not
Yeah.
putting the effort in, and the fans aren't buying it, then
Because let's be honest, they got the time and the money.
and they've got the people. It's not like like we watched. I think me and Rob over the summer we watched that indie developer documentary where
Okay.
Phil
Yeah.
Fish was just like, "Oh man, I have to have this game done by like this day because of these reasons, and it's just me and like this guy, and it has to be done." And they're not in that position where they're literally racing to get. There's not two guys on the game waiting for it to be done for like packs or whatever it was.
Mm.
We've said there's hundreds and hundreds of people, and if 100 people can't put your game together and get it right,
Something's wrong.
something's
Yeah.
wrong. It needs to change.
I mean, obviously, I know they've got their deadlines, as everyone has, obviously. But at the same time, they've got enough money, enough reputation, enough standing to say, "I'm sorry, this ain't possible.
Sorry, guys.
We need at least another 6 months, maybe a year." Because let's be honest, if they actually put some fucking time, because I think these 1 year development cycles are bullshit now.
Yeah.
We can't have them because they don't work, obviously. If Assassin's Creed took 2-3 years, let's properly think about
Yeah.
this. Let's Assassin's Creed. What can we innovate? What can we make better? Can we maybe put it in this direction? Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit more sneaky, maybe a bit more stealthy. Maybe let's put some effort into all these different things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they really, really thought about it, really innovated, really ironed out the cracks and all the creases, they would, in the end, once they release it, raging reviews, more money, even more money.
Yeah. So it's a shame that the industry's so suspicious.
Monetarily minded.
Suspicious of each other to the point where it's just like, if an idea is taken from somebody else, it's kind of like, hang on, you took our idea. We want money. Because there's so much they can learn from Shadow of Mordor, which they learned from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's one thing I've heard.
It's just, you actually you plan out and do it.
Yeah,
rather than the story.
that's one thing I've heard. Shadow of Mordor does Assassin's Creed
Better
than Assassin's Creed. Why is that a thing? I mean, I'm glad because I really want to play Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
And props to everyone that fucking made that game because it looks sweet and it did get some very good reviews.
Very good reviews.
What did I tell you, Rob? What did I tell you?
You were right. You were right.
Doesn't happen often. I'll take it. It'll do.
Good old chair.
Never failed you yet.
So yeah, have we got any more to say on the matter?
I think we've been here for probably a good hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, talking stuff.
I think
So
we've solved industry's problems. I think we've sat here and we've solved it.
I think this is it. Like, so if Rob wants to be the consultant for Activision, you could be the consultant for Ubisoft, and I'll kick EA's asses into gear. Our consultancy fee is £8,000 an hour. We look forward to your call, boys. Thank you very much.
That's it. We'll be done by lunch.
Activision, we're only making RPGs.
That's it. This is how it's happening.
That's
This is how it's happening, guys.
Get your swords and wizard robes ready.
This is it. No more FIFA. No more Madden. It pains me to say it. No more Madden. But you need to stop. Come on, guys. Get real. Right.
Right. Okay. Well,
Releases?
if we're all happy to move on,
Cool.
Josh, can you take us away with releases for next month?
That was the wrong button because I am on two PCs. So, December. There's only actually 3 games.
Yeah, December's always a really weirdly dry month.
Right. Do you want me to go? Shall I go from November? Just because we missed last month as well, and it gives us some stuff to talk about.
So we like transport us back in time and say whether it was going to be good when it came out or whether we were going to buy it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's.
So, November released the 3rd of the 11th, 2014. Always happens this time of year. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. which apparently, and I quote, isn't that bad. Which is as good as raging reviews as far as Call of Duty is concerned.
I think in October it wasn't going to be that bad, and now I think it wasn't that bad.
Thank you, Naz.
Captain Hindsight at your service.
I'll tell you what, like we need to do like like Ollie from Family Guy. You need to just give me the verdict in Family Guy's terms.
Same shit, different name.
Yeah.
Different name. Thanks
That'll
for that,
do.
Ollie.
So so let's see if we can do this 7 words or less, shall we?
Okay.
Like a haiku.
Exactly like a haiku.
Well
So
done.
we're going to go on the 7th of the 11th, 2014. We had Football Manager 2015.
Will be
Same
upright.
shit, different name.
Spreadsheets action.
Spreadsheets action. That's a good one. On the 11th of the 11th, 2014, we had Halo: The Master Chief Collection.
I like Halo.
Same shit,
It
different
does
name?
Good. All right.
Alright,
it
it was Halo.
was Halo. It's Halo.
We had
More Halo.
we've got
Halo, Halo, Halo.
Hello.
Hello, Halo.
We've got Pro Evolution Soccer.
I know one
2015.
person who's definitely playing that Halo.
Footballs, posts, goals, tackling, cheering. Wow.
We got World of Warcraft: Warlords of Draenor, released on the 13th of the 11th, 2014.
Can't get addicted to that crack again.
Blizzard
Can't
wants
log
your
in.
money.
Stay away. You are bad.
What was yours, Rob?
Can't log in.
Can't log in. Servers full.
Yeah. Ooh, 5,000 hour waiting time.
Mate, to be fair though, like I'm actually really surprised when I was looking at all these guys that I follow who play World of Warcraft, like the
Yeah.
Yogscast, Mana Source, like all these other people, and I'm just like looking at the loading queues. It's like estimated time an hour before you can log in. What?
Yeah.
Still
Sorry?
playing. People are
They
still
had
playing.
so many people come back. It was like, but they've said
Looks
this for
good,
every
though.
expansion.
No, because like
Oh,
Pandarin,
we
Pandarin
tried
didn't
to
really
plan
get
for it.
I like the
Pandarin,
fact
you
the
didn't
train
really
was
get
like
it.
Moses, and it's part of the Red Seas of like
That's
the
it,
internet.
yeah.
It's leading the people back to World of Warcraft, to the promised land.
It does look good
It
though.
does
Promised
look
100.
good. The
I'm
promised land
a
looks
little
good.
bit.
Promised 100. I think that's the reason it's back, because people want to say I got to level 100 on World
Yeah.
of Warcraft.
Rounded it off.
We've got Lego Batman Beyond Gotham, released the 14th of the 11th, 2014.
Same shit.
No,
Different title.
let go.
I like that one. We've got Minecraft, released for the PS Vita. Mine for this one is: are there any more consoles?
Vita's still alive? Still breathe. Still Sony trying to breathe life into it. Just come on, Vita, live.
It's like a
We give
cadaver.
you things. Please
It's
come
like
back.
a cadaver that's been dead for 6 days and has been in a hot, humid environment, but they're still trying to resuscitate.
No,
even
it's
though
one of those
bits are
training
falling off.
dummies you get for CPR, and no one's told them that it's not real, and they just
Yeah.
keep trying to bring it back.
Apparently, you
Stop.
can't do.
No more. Oh God, stop.
Apparently, you can't do CPR with a 9-volt battery. That's all I'm gonna say. Who'd have thought?
Gotta get some redstone on that shit.
Man, some redstone will fix your
Redstone
problems.
batteried. Boom.
We had. Naz is gonna love this one. Ass Creed Unity.
That should be good. I would have said in October. What you say in November is the fuck. No, I can't put myself in another Assassin's Creed game. Free broke me. Can't do it.
That's it. Just done.
No,
Wash
I'm
your
done.
man.
Anyone know what Assassin's Creed Rogue was like?
Assassin's
that's
Creed
quite
Rogue
good.
is actually the
How
next game.
that's good.
That's ironic. Oh shit! Was that actually a 360 game? No way.
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
like a
old
full
old gen
title.
game. Like
Yeah, they didn't even give out like review copies for it.
So weird.
because they wanted so much
Yeah.
attention on Unity, but they developed this last gen title. But that's
Oh,
better
well,
than
they
the one
fucking-
that they've done for new gen,
Yeah,
which is
because they've
brilliant.
actually switched it up because it's a bit more of an engaging storyline because it's someone who's been like, you know what, fuck you, assassins.
Yeah,
I'm joining the Templars.
Yeah.
Good.
Slow transformation from assassin to assassin hunter. That sounds alright actually.
yeah. That's
We
it.
got GTA 5 for the next gen.
very tempting actually.
Same shit, different day.
I told myself a lot, but it was going to be same ship, different machine. And then we all started talking about our favourite GTA memories on it, like playing GTA Online, where we nicked this one guy's car, got a helicopter cargo mob thing that could pick up cars, parked it on the roof of a skyscraper, and there's a little icon on the map that shows him where his personal car is. So he's driving around looking for it. We drag it back down. I say, he's going to kill me, but rig this thing to blow. Rig it to blow, and it was an amazing moment. And I have been thinking a lot about it. I won't get it because I played so much GTA already, but I have thought a lot about it. A lot.
I suppose it's one of those. If you've got a group of friends playing it, then
Yeah, it is.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not too much of a stickler for the new stuff. It looks very, very nice. If you've never played GTA before, GTA 5 before, get it.
Yeah. GTA 5's good. I really enjoyed. I actually didn't complete it. I played so much of it, just like roaming around and doing all these side quests and getting distracted. That I always do this with GTA. I don't think I've ever completed a GTA game.
I don't blame you. They're just bloated with content. It's great.
We've got Far Cry 3 released on the 18th of this month.
Right?
Far Cry 4.
3?
Shut
4.
up, Josh. Try again.
I was gonna say
Flashbacks.
Getting flashbacks, man.
same shit, a little colder.
Same shit, a little colder. Mate, in this one, I'll have you fucking know, you can ride an elephant.
Elephant and strap a fucking machine gun to its face.
How brilliant does that sound? It's like every 10-year-old.
Dead Rising, the animals.
Sounds like every 10-year-old's dream.
I'm gonna take this elephant. Yeah. I'm gonna duct tape some tigers to it for extra power. Yeah.
Yes, sounds so.
Sounds like the next WoW mount.
Yeah.
Cheetah underneath it for power. No, don't put the cheetah underneath it.
Oh, oh god.
It's dead.
So much blood.
Oh god.
So much blood.
So much sinew.
Put it back together.
There's not enough duct tape to fix this.
We've got Company of Heroes 2: Ardene's Assault.
Sardines assault.
Ardene's.
Oh, Ardeen.
Ardene. I'm guessing it.
Yeah, Sardines assault sounds much more fun. Company of Tuna.
Shoal
Sardines
of
assault.
fish. It's trying to take on another shoal of fish.
We got Shadow of Mordor released for the last gen.
Although why you'd get it on
Last gen is
360,
beyond me. Yeah.
I don't.
it would just be such a
What
downgrade.
taken away from it, just the graphics. Because if it's just the core gameplay, I'd recommend it. If it's still, you build up your armies and stuff like that, and I like
I might think about it for the last gen actually. It'll probably be the last game I play.
It's the same game. It's just a downgraded port because that
Don't know how good my computer
what they've
is.
taken away in terms of features. Because if it's still they've got that same org hierarchy.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
bit-
we're the
yeah,
same.
if that Nemesis
Oh yeah. No, I
that'll work.
think it's the same. It's the same game indefinitely. It's just the graphically downgraded. But to be honest, for a game that is, it's not the best of the best, and I don't think it's necessarily, I don't know, the pinnacle of next gen.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, but it definitely looks good. Like it looks really good. I don't see why you'd want to play it on last gen consoles. Like I'm perfectly happy to wait until I've either got a PS4 or a PC
Yeah.
in order to play it,
That's fine. Do that then.
just to get the full experience. But that's just my
Let's
opinion.
move to the next one. So because one of the next ones is absolutely fucking hilarious, and I really want to get there.
Alright.
It's fantastic. So we've got any wrestling fans here? Because we've got Wrestling 2015.
Yeah,
Well,
the Attitude Era.
Swiftly gloss off that. We got Dragon Age Inquisition. That kind of passed me by slightly. That was a game I was really, really hyped for, and then just kind of forgot about. I really want to play it though. It looks awesome.
The trailer for it was off-putting when they did it at E3 because everybody looked like they were doused in Vaseline. They were just the faces were too shiny. They looked like they were on the set of a film. It was just like incredibly shiny people. It's like,
That's hilarious.
oh, I don't like my people that shiny. You're very,
Right.
very shiny.
Okay, so the next one is absolutely fucking hilarious for two reasons. The first one is because it's actually a game for the Wii U.
Yes.
The second one is because it's Watch Dogs.
Shouldn't have enough problems. Can't
How
put out
brilliant.
Because it
How
wasn't broken
How
enough.
fucking fantastic is that? It's only available
Stop.
at game.
Stop Ubisoft.
Brilliant.
Stop with the
Brilliant.
horse. It's
Just.
dead. Stop flogging it. It's had its chips. Leave it.
Right, Little Big Planet 3 actually isn't out yet.
Oh,
It's out the
better we go
28th.
then.
of what this month?
That'd be good.
Well, they've obviously got review copies.
Yeah.
That's what's not selling well at the minute. Because
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, because there's actually and the last one is Amiibo, which is like Disney Infinity or Skylanders, but for Nintendo.
The Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Smash Bros for Wii U. We've already talked about that a bit. We've got Pokemon, Ruby and Sapphire, Omega and Alpha if you're interested. Same shit, different day.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got Minecraft for the Xbox One because apparently no, it wasn't on enough consoles. And then we move into December. So for December we have The Crew, which is next gen and PC, and it is a racing game.
Cars across the country.
We've got a really, really cool one here. I really, really like the idea of this. And Rob, this is definitely what you should be playing next. For the PlayStation 3, we've got Kingdom Hearts 2.5. So you get Kingdom Hearts with a HD remaster.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thing is, because I've only fairly recently bought the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah.
And I bought them for the PS2, and this was before the HD releases, and I kind of feel like,
I should have waited.
Maybe should have waited, but at the same time, like, I've got them. I don't want to.
You could probably sell Kingdom Hearts 2 for the PS2 for actually quite a lot of money. You'd be surprised on eBay like how much people will pay for it.
It's one of those.
But
games
then
that pass me by.
they're gonna become redundant now. You've got the HD remakes, so
I guess. And finally is Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which I'm pretty sure is the same as Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light.
Yeah,
It's PS4 and PC. It's top down. It's shooty.
Yeah, last one did well. I expect this one to do all right again.
That's cool. And so concludes the releases. That's it.
awesome. Cheers,
You're
Josh.
welcome, mate.
Any of those at all?
Absolutely
Interesting.
fucking none of them.
No.
Super Smash Bros. I probably might get that. Depends who I can find to play with, but
I've got it for the Thud-us.
I got that for the so I'm
And
all
I've
right
played
for the
it,
minute.
and I've played it for 2 weeks, and I haven't touched my 3DS since. So
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I've kind of left it alone for the past week.
Yeah. I mean, the only game that really kind of interests me is the Pokemon Omega Sapphire.
I get X and Y.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I haven't got a 3DS.
Yeah.
So when I've got one, I will probably pick those up at some point when they're cheap.
Yeah.
If possible, just for the nostalgia factor, because I did enjoy Pokemon Sapphire. It was literally the last Pokemon game I ever bought. Was Sapphire.
Yeah.
After then, I kind of fell out of the Pokemon franchise a little bit.
Yeah, I lost after Gold and Silver, and I recently came back to it with X and Y, and I really enjoyed that.
But although I didn't enjoy all the Pokemon that much in Sapphire, I did enjoy the new
keys, the garbage.
Yeah.
No, the great design.
I don't think that was Gen 3.
Oh, I don't know. It's all bullshit.
They came after, I think. But they were still better than the fucking garbage and the ice cream. But I enjoyed some of the mechanics. Like, obviously, you had the 2v2, like two Pokemon versus two Pokemon battles, and you had the little hideouts and the little secret. Yeah, that was good.
That's all right.
Nostalgia.
Cool, man. Right. I think that's everything. Then I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I think it is. Well, thank you. Thank you both for coming on.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having
Very
me back. Hopefully, I'll be appearing in the Christmas.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, we'll have you both back in December
Christmas edition.
for the Christmas special, end of year special. I think what we're planning to do for the month of December is do like a final roundup of a sort of review,
Of the year.
if you like, on the year, on the year of 2014 gaming. Sort of our highlights, things we liked. I don't know, the most controversial pieces of news and things like that, things that disgusted us the most, and whether that be a particular video game. Assassin's Creed Unity, maybe, Naz, or a particular piece of gaming news, or a particular a business practice that EA did, because let's be
It's
honest,
probably, yeah.
but something like that. It's going to be sort of a look back on our best bits and worst bits of the year of 2014 in gaming.
Fantastic.
So we've got that to look forward to, and Naz, obviously, really love you back for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'd love to.
So to hear your thoughts and opinions, I can imagine that will probably be like a 10-hour podcast.
Probably.
So
Probably.
And it would seem that I've just become a staple. I don't even get asked anymore. I just get the message, just like, "Can we record the podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
as I said, you're that old chair in the corner. But to be honest, like I'd like all of you all to become staples anyway. This is, this is a regular thing. So, I even if you can't make it 1 month, Naz, I'll constantly invite you back.
Yeah,
So not to worry. If you're interested,
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
If you hate
by all
it,
means,
yeah.
tell me to piss off. Like no, twice is enough.
Spending
God,
time with this
well,
guy,
three
jeez.
times in fact. But yeah. So thank you both so much for coming on.
Thank you very
More than
much.
welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
You're very, very welcome. It was awesome. So yeah, we've got December to look forward to, where we share the best and worst bits of our 2014 in gaming. And if you've enjoyed watching this podcast, then hopefully you'll enjoy to come back and watch more.
Yeah, and
hopefully by next month we'll have this on iTunes.
iTunes.
Really,
I will-
really, at least by the end of this year.
I will rendezvous with you at some point, and we will try to fix this. I'm also
Yeah.
expecting you guys to sing me happy birthday next month, because it's my birthday on New Year's Eve. So,
Oh, we'll see.
yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Oh,
probably.
we'll see. Yeah,
Nah,
we'll see.
It's hilarious. I'm expecting it, Rob. I'm expecting it. I'm going to film you doing it. The first
Look
video.
back on it on years
Naz,
to
that
come,
was
got
just perfect.
memories.
It's like, yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic.
So, yes, this has been the Undead Gaming Cast monthly podcast, where we talk about video games and the like. Hopefully you've enjoyed our discussions. If you've got any thoughts as well on what we spoke about, whether it be adding to our conversation or saying you rambled on far too much, what you're doing with your lives, leave it in the comments down below. If you're listening on YouTube, which you probably are at this moment in time because it's not on iTunes, which we plan to sort out by the end of this year at least. We'll do, things crossed. So, without further ado, I'm Rob the Undead Gamer. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, Jesus Christ. Josh, what are you doing on your channel?
My channel is. I'm currently having a couple of issues with my PC.
Messed up.
It's
this
really
outro.
irritating me. I am trying to get a fix. As soon as I've got a fix, content will start flying at you thick and fast. Up until then, I'm gonna try and piggyback. So you've not heard the last of me on Rob and Humble and possibly Naz if Naz wants to play some games as well.
Yeah, sure.
You will see me occasionally pop up in videos. Hopefully, if I can get my shit sorted. Just for now, just because I don't have a capture card, and getting one can sometimes be a bit crazy because I have to borrow it, and it's matching up times and things like that. And also I'm having issues with the software I use to record on my PC because I'm quite new to it. So bear with me. There will be stuff, I promise. I still want to really do it. I've just
Well,
gotta get it
I'm
sorted.
sure if we can help you out, then we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
in
absolutely.
any way possible. I will be no help, but
as
just
usual,
dropping Naz in it. Naz will help
Naz
you.
will help push Naz at me. It's fine.
So yeah, obviously, unfortunately, Josh hasn't got a lot going on his channel, but in the future, go subscribe to him so when he does have something, you will know instantly. So go subscribe to Singularity Games. You'll find Josh there. He's got some magic content on there at the
Little bit,
moment.
yeah, not much, but
So you can at least enjoy that for the time being. But I highly suggest go subscribe to him. Naz, is anything coming up on Talk Play?
Yeah, there's some stuff coming up. I've got some space to record some stuff tomorrow. I took a couple of weeks off after doing something ridiculous at the end of the month, last month.
Upload week.
Christ, that was murder. But no, I was happy with what came out of that, and yeah, there's plenty of stuff to come. Hopefully, more skits.
Yeah, I've not seen all of the videos from
nobody
that.
has. I
My
don't
apologies,
expect them
but
to. It was
stuff you did was really good.
I meant to do a post-mortem of that at some point or another, and I probably will still do that again. Basically, just say this probably isn't going to happen again because it murdered me. But no, there's going to be plenty more FTL. Probably bring back some Spider-Man stuff. Might do a bit of chatter about Destiny and saying why that's so good, particularly with the content on the way for that. Yeah, just generally whatever takes my fancy really at the minute. I'd love to do some Invisible Ink as well. I think that's a really, really cool game. It's worth talking about.
Brilliant, brilliant. Look forward to that. So yeah, please go subscribe to Naz's channel,
Definitely.
Talkplay. Again, he's got a world of fucking content on there for you to watch for the time being, and it's all awesome. So go subscribe, go check it out, and enjoy Naz on Talkplay. As for me, if anyone gives a crap,
So come on,
hopefully you do because you're watching it on my channel.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully we've got more Dead Space coming your way, more gaming vlogs as well because that's something I really want to get back into. And last week's gaming vlog where I spoke about next gen gaming was quite a successful thing, I'd say anyway.
Really
It's quite a
enjoyed that.
successful video.
Yeah.
So more of that to come on the way. Hopefully more War in the North with Tiny Tasha as well. As and when. So yeah, I'm Rob the Undead Gamer. This has been the Undead Gaming Cast for the month of November. Thank you to Josh from Singularity Games.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Naz from Talkplay.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in December. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.